Hello, hello.
Hi, my friend. Welcome to the channel. Today is October 2nd, and to refresh our memory, our topic for the month is virtue and kindness. And our topic for today is the most valuable asset.
Mm-hmm.
Seneca begins with a quote: "But the wise person can lose nothing. Such a person has everything stored up for themselves, leaving nothing to fortune. Their own goods are held firm, bound in virtue, which requires nothing from chance, and therefore can't be either increased or diminished."
Hmm.
I mean, they're really driving at the difference between what we can control and what we can't control. And the can't control is fortune and chance. And they're saying, let me remove any dependence I have on fortune or chance. Let me remove the possibility that fortune and chance can have power over my inner world.
Mm-hmm.
And instead, let me really focus everything on cultivating these virtues, because if I cultivate virtue, my life can never be either increased or diminished.
Based on chance or virtue.
Or like any other way you might define whatever it is that's outside of your control.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I look at chance or something like that in a way of like I'm open to it, and I know that and I try to go based on the chance. What is it like? Chance prefer the ready, the ones who are ready, or something like that. There's like that saying, well, it's not like it's just gonna something just shows up on your driveway. No. If you're pointing towards that direction and then you keep chipping away, then luck will happen in that, or some sort of a fortune will happen in that direction sooner or later. And I believe I believe in that. Yeah, I definitely believe like sooner or later, like it could be a really long time. So it could be like, oh my God, like I'm 20 miles deep in this tunnel and I haven't found anything. So it could be idiotic to be doing that, and you still have to reevaluate if am I doing the right thing. But nevertheless, there's some result of that, and if the result is this is not the direction, then changing direction is the kind of the thing that it's found, you know.
Sure, I suppose I hold like a similar point of view. And maybe that is like something that they talk about, just like generally. I'm trying to like get at like what is the nugget for today, because the nugget for today is like it doesn't matter what fortune is doing. It doesn't matter what chance is doing. Chance will sometimes be on your side and sometimes not.
Yeah.
And that's not the point. The point is building up those virtues inside of me so that I'm okay for chance to be what it is, and I'm okay for fortune to be what it is in any moment across my entire life.
Right, like you're saying, like you don't want to be fortunate or you don't want to be misfortunate. You're just kind of like, it's like a result, right? Like it's like, well, I don't have a control over that. So chance is whatever fortune is, whatever fortune is. I'm just gonna go do my own thing, focus on the stuff that I'm interested in, and then
Well,
whatever
focus on
happens
the
with
virtues is like really what this is
yeah.
talking about.
Well, yeah, but through virtues, you're trying to achieve something. You're trying to do some goal in life, right? So you're focusing on that, and then you're saying, if fortune happens, great. If fortune doesn't happen, great. You know, it's like kind of like you're indifferent in fortune or something.
Yeah, that's
like you don't want fortune, perhaps, and you're not pushing the fortune away either.
Yeah, like that's not where the attention is going.
Yeah.
So like conceptually, I think we have
Yeah,
it.
I mean,
It's
I very rarely think about that. I want to be fortunate. Let's say, I sometimes when I'm thinking about fortune is after I'm fortunate. I go like, oh, so it's more of like a gratefulness of like, man, I'm so fortunate that this like happened the way it did. Like I think of it like I observe it afterwards, right? I'm not wishing fortune for myself or luck for myself ahead of time.
Yeah, there's other ways that we can be doing it though, which is sort of like expecting bad luck or expecting misfortune. It's sort of like anytime my focus is on something out there about how the world is not the way that I want it to be, I am missing the point. Because and even just like I think about like, you know, sometimes there's a situation in life and you're like, if only this other person would change. If only this situation would change.
Mm-hmm.
And all of that is like a symptom of the same problem, which is thinking too much about the luck, the chance, the fortune, or like whatever the element is that's outside of my control. And it robs me of the opportunity to say, hold on a second, how am I changing now? Like this is what it is. This person is who they are. This situation is what it is. And now I have control over how I'm showing up and thinking about it and participating in it. And so what's my lesson here?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because that's all you have control over, right? So you focusing on anything outside of that would be, I mean, we do it all the time, but it's kind of a waste of our efforts, right? Because you can't actually affect it very much, if at all, or that way, right? And so, yeah, it's the...
You will affect it better by focusing on, like, I will affect it better by focusing on
and how I'm
looking at it and how I'm participating
in it. Yeah, how I'm...
What lessons am I taking from this?
Yeah, how I'm how I'm communicating about it, all of them. Yeah, what energy I'm bringing into it all. Yeah, all of that stuff. That's the control, right? So yeah, that's great. Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, just a reminder on the what the control, what we actually have control over versus what we don't. That's a good one, yeah. Okay.
And it's interesting because like with trauma makes you think that you don't have control over the things that you do have control over. And like I've heard therapists talk about this before where like when they get a new client, they're trying to like see how healthy this person is by, well, how much does this person believe that what is in their control is actually in their control? Versus how much do they believe that they're not in control of it? And if they believe that they're not in control of it, this is like a sign that like trauma has occurred that has made them like the locus of control. They know the locus of control is no longer inside themselves and they just feel like a pawn of the universe or a pawn of other people.
So there would be like someone thinking that they don't have control of anything. They'll say like, I don't even have control over how I'm looking at it and how I'm participating in it, and none of that. Like it's just
happening to me.
It's just happening to me. Yeah.
And so part of becoming healthy is like saying, no, I do have control over how I look at it. That's a choice that I'm making, right. Even if it doesn't feel like I'm making it, even if it feels like this is all chosen for me. I have control over how I'm looking at it and how I'm showing up here. And the more that I can claim that and I can say, this is my responsibility, I have extreme ownership over this, and I'm saying yes to that in every situation. And I'm no longer complaining about how I don't like this about this other person or this in the world. Like that's me giving away my control and saying, oh, this other person has the ability to like make my inner world shit. But really, no, I have control over that, and I gave them that power to do that, but I'm not seeing it that way. I'm not seeing it clearly because I'm seeing it as like, oh no, they're doing something to me. You want to do Ryan?
Mm-hmm.
He says, some people put their money in assets, stocks, bonds, property. Others invest in relationships or accomplishments, knowing that they can draw on these things just as easily as others can draw funds from a bank account. But a third type, Seneca says, invests in themselves, in being a good and wise person. Which of these assets is most immune to market fluctuations and disasters? Which is most resilient in the face of trials and tribulations? Which will never abandon you? Seneca's own life is an interesting example. He became quite wealthy as a friend of the emperor, but as Nero became more and more deranged, Seneca realized he needed to get out. He offered Nero a deal. He would give Nero all his money and return all of Nero's gifts in exchange for complete and total freedom. Ultimately, Nero rejected this offer, but Seneca left anyway, retiring in relative peace. But one day the executioners came with their mortal decree. In that moment, what did Seneca rely on? It wasn't his money. It wasn't his friends who, although they meant well, were a considerable source of grief and mourning. It was his virtue and inner strength. It was Seneca's most trying moment, his last and his finest. Damn, I don't know the story of like how Seneca died, but this makes me want to watch the movie.
There you go. Anything else on your end from this one?
No, I just like the continued repetition of the control. I just find that to be so poignant and so, like, the more that I think about it, the more sense that it makes and the more obvious it is of like, holy shit, I can't spend my time thinking about all this other stuff. Like, I don't have time for that. Like, every moment I'm spending doing that, I'm not thinking about this other stuff, and my life is going the wrong direction. Like, I feel that in my cells. Like, I feel, like, you can feel when your life has traction and is, like, going in the right direction. And, like, this control thing is a big key. I can feel that for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, same. Cool. Cool, let's wrap this bad boy up.
Let's do it. Okie dokie, my friend. Thanks for tuning in today, and we shall see you here tomorrow.